Welcome to our newsline. You're watching ERi-TV English News Broadcast live from our headquarters in Asmara. I'm Hamid Barkhat. Let's first look at the top stories that are making headlines today. Abuna Gerlos gives benediction. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. U.S China competition over conflict in first call in 7 months. Delta variant continued to gain ground in lockdown cities. His Reverend Abuna Gerlos, 5th Patriarch of Eritrean Orthodox Tewahedo Church, gave benediction in connection with Giz New Year. His Reverend Abuna Gerlos, 5th Patriarch of the Eritrean Orthodox Tewahedo Church, also congratulated and wished Eritrean nationals at home and abroad, as well as members of the EDF and the faithful, a happy Giz New Year and a year of peace and development. The Patriarch also called on the faithful to extend hands to the sick and needy and reinforce contribution in the nation-building process. One patient has been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today at quarantine centers in Asmara Central Region. On the other hand, 3 patients who have been receiving medical treatments in hospitals in Central Region have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly increased to 6,611, while the number does stands at 40. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 6,655. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 10 September 2021. Eritrean nationals in the U.S., Canada, Germany, and Switzerland contributed $14,000, over 7,000 Canada dollars, and 400 euros towards augmenting the Martyrs Trust Fund and in support of families Martyrs. According to the report from the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare, Eritrean women members of Adenal Hagare Association that is established under the auspices of the Eritrean community in Seattle, U.S., contributed $5,300 in support of families Martyrs. Members of Hedrus and Matat Association in Sin City, $5,000. Eritrean community members in Kansas, Missouri, $3,350. Mr. Kidane Gabra Medhin and his wife from Geneva, Switzerland, $360. Similarly, St. Michael Orthodox Tewahedo Church in Toronto, Canada, contributed 6,000 Canada dollars towards augmenting the Martyrs Trust Fund. Mr. Tadesse Saale from Canada, 1,100 Canada dollars, and Ms. Hagosa Orwa Mikael from Germany, 400 euros. Ms. Hidegga Yohannes, head of the National Union of Eritrean Women branch in Kashbarka region, reported that strong effort is being exerted to develop economic capacity of women in general and families that are being supported by women in particular. Ms. Hidegga said that alongside the efforts being exerted to strengthen organizational capacity of women, various development programs are being conducted to develop the economic capacity of women with a view to enable them become self-supportive. Ms. Hidegga went on to say that the union will continue sustainable endeavor to empower women through organizing various vocational training programs and extending financial support so that they engaged in small-scale trade and farming activities. According to the documents, there are a number of women in Kashbarka region that have become beneficiaries of various developmental programs initiated by the National Union of Eritrean Women. We'll be back with more international news. Stay tuned. U.S. President Joe Biden talked with his Chinese counterpart, Xi Jinping, for the first time in 7 months. During the call, message was that wants to ensure the dynamic remains competitive and that they don't have any issue in the future where they veer in unintended conflict. This was the leaders' first call since February, when they talked for 2 hours shortly after Biden took over the Donald Trump. Lower-level attempts to engage with China have not gone well, especially at an angry March exchange between Secretary of State Antony Blinken and top Chinese officials when they met in Alaska. The list of disagreements between Washington and Beijing is long and growing. There are areas where the two powers are also find themselves having to cooperate or at least coordinate, including on North Korea's nuclear weapons program and the climate crisis. Australia's COVID-19 daily cases topped 1,900 for the first time in the pandemic today, as an outbreak fueled by the highly infectious Delta variant continued to gain ground in locked down Sydney and Melbourne, its largest cities. New South Wales, the epicenter of this country's worst outbreak, reported 1,542 new daily local cases and 9 new deaths. Victoria State logged 334 new cases, its biggest rise for this year, and 1 death. Despite cases lingering near record levels, NSW authorities on Thursday said Sydney's businesses could reopen once 70% of the state's adult population is fully vaccinated, a target due to be reached in the mid-October. So far, 44% have been fully vaccinated. Before we close for today's news, let's have a recap of the headlines today. Abuna Carlos gives benediction. Announcement from the Ministry of Health. U.S China competition over conflict in first call in 7 months. Delta variant continued to gain ground in lockdown states. That was all for today's news. Again, happy Giz New Year. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.